Hi, my name's Fergus and I'm the founder of Gran Luchito, and I'm really thrilled to be joined today by Susie, our head chef. And she's joined us today to talk about the chicken fajita recipe, which is up on our website. So, Susie, thank you very much. Welcome. Nice to see you. And thank you for making what looks like an absolutely delicious recipe. And I was looking at the recipe earlier. I've gone out and bought all the ingredients. I guess the first thing I wanted to ask you, obviously you're Mexican, you grew up in Mexico. Are fajitas Mexican? What are fajitas like in Mexico?
Well, first of all, hi, Fergus. It's a pleasure to be here. Yes, fajitas are Mexican. I mean, I grew up eating fajitas. My mom would make them for us. I think it's just a very easy recipe to make for your family. And I mean, normally they're cooked with the chicken and the peppers, and then my mom would just add some lime juice and maybe some coriander, something like that.
Very, very good. And obviously, the chicken's quite a typical fajita recipe because obviously fajitas are quite quick and easy, and chicken's an easy protein to cook. Obviously, beef fajitas would be quite common in a restaurant. Obviously we have people watching who might not eat meat, might not eat chicken. What would you recommend as sort of substitutes for non-meat eaters?
Yeah, well, I think nowadays it's very important to have more options for everybody, or even for people who like to mix it up sometimes during the week and just eat a little bit less of meat. So what I normally do is I use the regular three peppers with the onion, and then I fry that with some sweet potato that I cut into strips. And that makes the fajitas really nice and substantial. And if you marinate them with like the chipotle paste, some lime juice, and a bit of salt and pepper, they turn out really nice. And I
Yum.
would also serve those with a bit of the cantina beans, just to make them really substantial and wholesome.
Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, I'm actually quite greedy. I think I might have the cantina beans with the chicken fajitas as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the way that you cook the black beans, our cantina beans, I think on the website it's called the Mexican black beans with a bit of creme fraiche or sour cream on top and the coriander. It's pretty yummy. But back to chicken fajitas. I guess I was in the store, and I guess like the first thing I was wondering was like, what kind of chicken can you use for chicken fajitas? I
Yeah.
actually went. I didn't actually follow your recipe. I actually went for chicken thighs.
That's cool.
And Is that okay? Am I going to be able to use them?
Yeah. Yes, you are, of course. And actually, chicken thighs have a lot of flavor because there's a bit more fat in them. So you can just use them the same way. Like you can just cut them into smaller pieces or kind of like strips, and then you marinate them, and then you can cook them just the same way as you would do with the chicken breast,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Well, I'm really lazy, so I bought the ones without the skin and without the bones, so it's easy to chop. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so obviously
That's a great tip.
yeah,
Sorry.
always.
Yeah.
So the marinade. I mean, obviously, this is like the most important part if you're making homemade fajitas. Talk us through the marinade that you've chosen. Obviously, great to see that you're using our chipotle paste, and yeah.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I mean, the chipotle paste gives a lot of flavor to a lot of things. I mean, I call it the pantry essential because there's a lot of things you can like give just a just a lot of flavor just by adding a little bit of that chipotle paste. If you love spicy food as well, I mean, even better. So what I did on this recipe, just mix 2 teaspoons of the chipotle paste with the lime juice and olive oil and a bit of oregano. So all very simple ingredients. Then you whisk that up and pour on top of your protein, and then just leave it marinate for about an hour, half an hour tops.
Half an hour. Okay, an hour. And if I've got the time, can I marinate? Could I marinate it for longer?
You can. I mean, obviously, it would just give make your chicken even more like concentrated in flavor.
Yeah.
But just because fajitas, I feel like it's just a dish that is just like you wanted to make it quick. I think half an hour is enough.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So I've sliced my onions. I'm going to slice my onions. I'm going to slice my peppers. I got the mixture, like the red and the orange peppers, and I guess we obviously you want the whenever I cook chicken, I always want the meat to be brown and nice. And I guess from cooking other dishes, the key is always to keep the pan temperature really high, I guess. So
Yes.
what I plan to do, and it'd be interesting to get your thoughts on this, is to cook the chicken first. I'm going to cook the thighs slice the thighs into like long strips, and cook the chicken, and then remove it from the pan. And then cook the veggies afterwards, and then combine it at the end.
That's the best way to do it, actually. First of all, you're using the pan very hot, so that will give a color to your meat. And that's like the tasty bit of the fajitas, right? Just those brown bits. But also the other main thing that you're saying is that first you cook the protein and then the veggies, and then you put it all together, right? So you don't want to either overcook your chicken or your vegetables. You want everything to be perfectly like cooked again. That makes sense.
Yeah. And I tell you what, I've got this plan. I've never actually done it before, but I've got some people coming around for the fajitas. So once I've cooked them, I've got a really heavy cast iron skillet, I guess what might be called in America, and I'm going to put it in the oven. Set the oven to like 240 degrees Celsius. And once I've cooked the fajitas, just before I serve them, I'm going to put them onto that pan. And I'm hoping that will make them sizzle, and I'm going for like that restaurant sizzling effect. So I'll have to.
That's an awesome idea, actually, and I'm sure it will look really impressive for your guests. And I mean, I would say also if you add other bits like steak in there, then shrimp, and then some grilled like whole spring onions.
Yes.
That will make it look.
Yeah, like our fajita platter which is another recipe on the site.
Yeah.
So right. So I've got the sizzling fajitas, like all that, and it's all about the toppings. So I want to know what your favorite fajita toppings are, please.
The toppings, right? So I like it very simple. I just like a tomatillo salsa and lime juice. But I know for my guests, like I like to make a little spread. So I will have a guacamole, a pico de gallo on the table, some salsas and limes. And then everybody can make their own tacos the way they like.
Yeah, very, very good. I love the chipotle crema recipe that you made on for the website. For people who don't know what a chipotle crema is, it's sour cream mixed with our chipotle paste, and it's super yummy. And you know me, I love spicy food, and it's a great topping. But I love fajitas. For me are all about the toppings. I'm throwing in guacamole, definitely a bit of grated cheese, and I've got this thing where I love putting the store-bought crispy onions in the in the fajita as well. It's a great kind of contrast between the soft, like kind of fried sizzling onions and then the crunch that those store-bought. Yeah, it's pretty yum.
I can see that. Sounds really good. I think that's the beauty of fajitas, right? That you can make them your own, and you can add anything you like. I mean, I don't think there's any rules.
There's no rules. I mean, it's fun food. They're fun to make. They're fun to eat. And they're fun to share. Yeah.
Definitely.
But I guess the next thing I wanted to ask you about was the tortilla wrap. Now, hopefully, everyone who's watching knows that all the wraps have to be served warm. If anyone's serving the wraps cold, please stop. Ever do that again. Please always serve warm wraps. I guess if I'm, just got a couple of people around and I'm a bit lazy, I've got this great quick way to heat tortilla wraps, and I put them on top of a toaster, not in the toaster, but on top of the toaster, and that maybe like 20 seconds each side, and it works an absolute treat. But obviously, if you're cooking like 4 or 5 people, that's not possible. So, what's the best way to heat tortilla wraps and keep them warm? I guess because that's also the tricky part.
Well, the way that I do it for my family is I warm them up one by one in just a non-stick pan. But while they're being done, I put them on a tea towel, and then I wrap them in them, and that keeps them honestly warm enough for a good time. And then you can just stack them in there and serve them at the table, and then they'll be nice for everybody to use.
Yeah, and you would do that after you've cooked the fajitas. That's like the last thing you do, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Just right before you're gonna serve is that's the last thing I do.
Yeah. So obviously we were chatting about this before, and we were talking about the black beans that you can serve with the fajitas. What are the other dishes that might be on the site or old favourites that that you would serve with the fajitas? What goes well with fajitas?
I mean, just like traditional, I think just a Mexican rice cannot fail, right? And also it's so easy to make. But I also like the corn, the Mexican corn we have on the website. I think that's a nice recipe to go with it. And the pico de gallo, like I said, and the guacamole, those are really good options.
Yeah. And if I'm quite greedy, so I would also probably always serve nachos, maybe as a amuse-bouche or like a side as well. So I've been eyeing up the chorizo nachos that the recipe that you made. Those are particularly good.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah, good.
I recommend them.
So how many fajitas should we plan to serve per person? Like how, if you're doing like sort of menu planning, how?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, normally I think how I calculate is just like one chicken breast per person, and then the mixed peppers like red, green, and yellow. That's enough for 2 people, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the good thing about fajitas is that you can make them go a long way because they kind of bulk up, right, with the veggies and the protein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
so I hope that's helpful.
Yeah, that is a very good rule of thumb. So that's great. Well, Susy, I mean, thank you very much for taking the time to chat. Thank you for the delicious recipe, and I guess if anyone's watching hasn't seen the recipe, please go onto our site and check it out. And if you've got any questions for Susy, then do please leave comments below, and we'll get back and answer them. And Susy, it will be great to chat again soon and chat about another one of your recipes. And I'm thinking maybe huevos rancheros next time.
Good. Sounds good. I'll be happy to.
Great. Well, thank you very much. Nice to see you, Susy.
Thanks,
Take care. Bye-bye.